So guys, after taking our time to look at the input worksheet, the next thing for us to do in this course is to model the revenue and operating cost for the real project, and we will be doing that in the operation worksheet. Now let's move to the operation sheet, which is the OPS. Remember that the assumptions that would drive the calculation of our revenue and cost for this model is in the input sheet already. So I'm just going to bring those numbers to my operation sheet and do the calculation. So the first thing I want to bring on is the total rail distance per trip and use it to calculate the daily rail distance and total rail distance on a monthly basis. I need to go to my input sheet and pick the distance per trip, which is 125 kilometer in this case. Is in the input sheet. I will then apply the offsheet format. The offsheet format helps to show that you are bringing something from another worksheet. So the next thing for me to do is to punch Ctrl 1 on my keyboard, go to custom and scroll down to get a format that shows that this is actually in kilometer. All this, then apply a double quotation and then put kilometer, which is km in between, then punch enter on my keyboard. Done. All right. And I can see that I have my 125 kilometer trip distance here. So the next thing that I want to have now is the numbers of trips per day. We assume there will be 4 trips per day, right? So I'm just going to go to the input sheet and bring the numbers of trip per day that we have, which is 4. Then apply offsheet format as well. So I have my numbers of trips per day. What else do I need to do? I need to calculate the total daily distance and as well as my total numbers of trips per day. So let me start first by calculating the total number of trips per month. However, before I do that, I want to freeze the distance for each column, or let me say for each month. So I'm applying absolute referencing now, whereby I'm adding $signs to both the alphabet and the number that we have here. The number is for the row, while the alphabet is for the column. Then I punch enter. Align the entire row and then fill right using Ctrl R. I will also do the same for my numbers of trips per day. Apply absolute referencing, then punch enter, then fill right using Ctrl R. After doing that, the next thing I have to do here is to calculate the number of trips per day. The number of trips per month. And for us to be able to calculate this, we need to know the number of days we have in each month. For example, we have 31 days in December. For January, we have 31 days as well. For February, we have 29 days. And sometimes it can be 28. And for March, we have 31. And all of that, all of the months, we have their respective dates or days. So the number of trips tend to vary based on the number of days we have in each month. However, we have adopted a formula in our model using name range. We've employed name range to enable us with easy calculation and referencing of a cell or group of cells in our model. The calculations regarding the name range have actually been done in the model already. To show you how it works, I'm going to punch my @ symbol on my keyboard and type end days underscore month. That's the name we've given to days in each of the months. I can then punch enter. Though it's showing zero, it's showing 0 day. That's correct because the first month in our model is actually starting from period 0, which is from 31st of December 2023 to 31st of December 2023. However, if I feel right a bit, we'll see that it will give me the number of days in each month. So January we have 31 days, and for February we have 29 days, and all of that same range formula in the timing and flag worksheet. You can see the days in each of the months corresponding to what we have. This is where we did the calculation. So let's go back to the OPS sheet. Let me delete this because I don't need it here. So I'm going to apply the name range for number of days and multiply it by the number of trips per day. I'm going to say at end days underscore month, multiply the number of trips per day, then fill right a bit to check if it's working correctly. Yes, that's correct. Then fill right to the last. So the next thing that I want to do is to estimate the total daily distance traveled. How am I gonna do this? Each day there are 4 trips, and each trips require a distance of 125 kilometers. So I'm just going to multiply the number of trips in the day, which is 4, by 125 kilometers to know the total number of kilometers that is required based on 4 trips. I want to copy and paste format. Copy these, punch Control plus Alt plus V on your keyboard and paste format on this. So we are traveling around 500 kilometers on a daily basis. Then the other thing I want to calculate is the total monthly distance traveled. However, before doing that, let me have a row that is only for my days in a month. So I'm going to use the name range, the @ symbol, and the end days underscore month. So that gives me the days in a month, and I want the numbers to show that these are days. I want the number to show days after it. I'll punch Ctrl 1, go to custom format, then type days, then punch enter on your keyboard, Ctrl R to fill right. So this is my days in a month. Then I can calculate my total monthly distance traveled. If I traveled 500 kilometers per day, then what I just need to do to be able to calculate or capture my total monthly distance traveled directly in my model is by multiplying my days in a month by the total daily distance. So once I do that, then I can fill right. Let me copy format, go C, then highlight all the cells. Then I punch Ctrl plus Alt plus V on my keyboard. Then you come down to check format. Yeah, I have 125 kilometers. This is my total monthly distance traveled. The next thing I would like to say is that the next thing I would like to say is that I want space bar. I want space bar. I want as well as I want space bar. The next thing I would like to say is that I want space bar. I want space bar as well as comma to show that these numbers are clearly in thousands. So I will punch Ctrl plus Alt plus V and paste format. You can see I have 1,500 kilometers on a monthly basis. The total distance traveled will vary on a monthly basis because in some months we have more days, while some months we have fewer days. Alt HBP for top line border. The next thing for me to do here is to calculate my ticket passengers for both standard and first class. And how do I do that? Let me start by typing average ticket passenger volume. Let me bold it, Control B. And I have two streams of revenue. I have two streams of passengers. I have the standard passengers and I have the first class passengers. And remember, I also have stations, right? And I have 4 stations. So I need to show that my passenger volume numbers look like. I need to show what my passenger volume numbers look like at each of these train stations. So in this case, let me type the stations. We have station A, B, C, and D, and separate them for both standard passengers and first class passengers. We should remember that this is average ticket passenger volume per trip. So I need to bring that average numbers. I need to bring what the average numbers what the average numbers look like. I need to bring it here. So I'm just going to go back to my input sheet where I have the numbers for each station. So these are my passengers figures, standard passenger volume. So I'll just click on that, punch enter, then format of sheet to show. Then I lie down, Control D to fill down. So yeah, if I punch Control open bracket is the station D, then I can just come back here and check if what I've done is correct. I will do the same thing here, link it to the passenger volume in the input sheet from the input worksheet. Punch enter. Now apply off sheet format, then I can fill down. So I have the volumes for each stations, right? I have the volumes for both standard passengers and first class passengers. Now, since I have these, the next thing that I need to do is to calculate the volumes based on the number of trips in a month. So I'm just going to come here and multiply the average passenger volume as we have it for station A, freeze it because I don't want it to change, then multiply it by the total number of trips in a month. Fill right, I'm adjusting the reference using the $ to turn it to a relative referencing so that it can pick other stations and calculate for them all. Highlight all the required cells, Control plus Alt plus V for paste special, then come here to paste as formula, then punch enter. Then I will copy this, highlight all the cells for the first class passengers, Control plus Alt plus V to paste formula, Alt HJ for number format. Now that we have established the average ticket passenger volume, we are ready to proceed. In our next video, we will delve into calculating the average disembarking passenger volume. If you appreciate our content, don't forget to like and subscribe to support our efforts. Thank you.